When it is alive, you are alive. The theater, the curtain call, the never-ending quest to perform for an audience, to make them feel what it is you are portraying. That is the actor's goal. A high like no other. That's what brought Don Stolz into business. He was, you see, the son of a preacher.
Well, you know, when you're a preacher's kid, you're expected to be in every Christmas, Easter, Pentecost, every pageant or play that they give. And you're never to expect a leading role because you're not going to get one.
Oh, but the interest was piqued. Was he called to the curtain, or was it just a matter of a career choice by elimination? When did it feel right to be on the stage and you said, there's just something different about this. There's something that makes me feel good. There's something that brings me back, and this is what I want to do.
Well, I suppose it was when I was in organic chemistry class.
You knew you didn't want to do that, right?
And I thought, theater is better.
Don knows a thing or two about this acting thing. You see, he's been at it now for most of his 9+ decades on this earth. He attended college and started working on a radio station. His career and his life interrupted, like it was for so many of his vintage, by World War II.
And I got assigned to the Fond du Lac APA 166, which was a troop carrier, as the captain liked to say, troop transport attack. And we were at Okinawa and Iwo Jima and a number of places. Then in '46, I auditioned for a radio show in Hollywood. And you know how actors are. There isn't any part ever written that isn't perfect for them. And I felt this was a part from just
Perfect
made
part,
for,
huh? Yeah. He returned to the old log all right and was ready to make it a destination. Now as more than an actor, but an owner. And he got his first business lesson because of a medical emergency.
That was the summer of the polio epidemic. And there's no way to describe that.
Really?
Everything closed, except the old log. I suppose we would have closed if we'd had a lock. But by the end of the summer, Joan and I lost everything that we'd saved during my Navy years, and I still had the car left. So I sold the car and had enough money to send Joan. We had 2 children by then, little babies, and sent them back to California.
But the old log, it called him back, a little wiser and with an appreciation that art and business are, well, strange bedfellows.
Go on down to the front rows. Those aren't occupied at all, and they're wonderful seats.
Do you like being a business? Did you like being a businessman too? Because not many actors are good at business.
Well, not very many. I'm not sure any. I've enjoyed it, yes.
Don, you've done over 600 different plays, performances that have gone for on and on. What does it feel like up here when you look around, you think about what you built and the memories that have come from here?
So many of these things have been used in other plays.
Sure. This is his playground, and not just his. The old log has seen his share of big-time talent before anyone knew they were big-time talent. Finding out who wanted to put in the work to make it work.
I always liked rehearsals because you're building then. And you know, Nick Nolte, when he was here, he loved to rehearse.
Did he?
Yes. Most actors don't like to rehearse, but he did. He loved it.
There was the blonde bombshell named Lonnie Anderson before she was a blonde bombshell. What about Lonnie Anderson?
Well, she didn't have to be good. But she was.
And she was good, yeah?
Yes, she was. And she worked hard, too.
And there were others that flourished in television, like Nancy Nelson.
You know, when you're that young and somebody decides that they see something in you that they're willing to nurture, and trust me, Don has done that with hundreds of us, to be given an opportunity like that and then to grow with it. And it is a family. Make no mistake, when you're here that long, it's a family. To say that I love this man deeply is nothing but sincere.
Don's tough days were always accompanied by a vote of support from his wife, Joan. She passed a few years back, but her imprint was made as a wife and mother and a special kind of person that it requires for a life lived on stage. He remembers the day he asked for her hand from her father.
And he looked at me, and this was his reply. This is all he said. "You've got to be kidding."
Kidding that she asked permission, or kidding that he gave it away?
Yeah. I never found out what he meant by that.
Maybe you didn't want to know, huh?
No, I didn't want to know.
But she was there for it all. In theater vernacular, the person behind the scenes that held it all together. Does this theater help fill the void for you? I mean, the fact that you got a sense of purpose and a place to go and something to...
Yeah. Yes, that's been a big help.
He's even penned a book on his life in the old log.
To be able to come here every night and be on stage and do Don's comedies and hear the audience laugh, I don't know if it can ever get any better than that.
Oh, those performances. It has been a life of wonderment and exhilaration and some unexpected fun.
I was going through the lobby one day and the phone rang in the box office and I answered it and the woman said, "Oh, I'm glad you answered." She was an elderly woman. She says, I wanted to ask you a question. And I said, "All right, what is it?" She said, "Is this play that you just opened, is this one of your risque plays?" And I thought, I'm going to be honest if it kills me. And I said, "Yes, I'm afraid I must tell you that it is." She said, "Good, I'll take 8 tickets.
He got a call recently from the Actors Guild. Turns out he is the oldest registered actor in the country. That's what's made his life so rewarding, that he followed his passion and dictated his own journey. An artist, an entrepreneur who enjoyed the theater because he loves so much the people that came to see his plays.